Hello. Yeah, I spent the last few minutes looking up issues with this game, which apparently there are issues with this game. Um, the stuttering issue that I was having is an issue that is common.
Here's a little song I wrote to cheer you up. It's called Let's Go Already!
I thought I thought it was going to be, "Hello, Dean. You're a stupid head." Um, yeah. So this is a
Hello,
thing.
Dean. You're a stupid head.
There you go. So yeah, this is the thing that happens. I guess the one thing I can maybe do is apparently in my task manager, I can set this game to be a higher priority or some shit. What does it want me to do? Go to the details tab. And find the process of my game, which I don't even know. But the thing, take out the most memory. Set priority high. Okay. Hey, Stalking, did you have any problems running it? It's still doing it. It's still doing it. It's still stuttering. Oh boy. She was playing on Xbox. Well, maybe that's what I should have done, but I didn't. I will turn down the graphics to the least, which is, I don't think, going to matter. Overall quality low. Is there nothing lower than low? Just don't think it's gonna fix it. But okay, let's find out. Back. What? Controller. Sorry. Okay, we're good. I mean, we're not good, but we're trying. Okay. So yes, as I was trying to explain to Terrace before my computer crashed, a blue screen of death, something I have not seen in a long time. I washed up on the side of a river, and I met a woman named Karen. And Karen was telling me about how, oh, her job is just a boring commute. She just goes back and forth every day. So, figure that one out. A Roman military commander attempting to scramble away from something. So, yes, all of these statues I've seen have been people attempting to flee or... although they were facing a Roman legionary in a state of terror. No, it's not space. It's Rome. A Roman woman who appears to be praying for help that never came. So yeah, this game has a little bit of a creepy aspect. I didn't really appreciate it, but when you're in, I don't know. At least to me, there's something creepy about statues, especially statues that are not... Oh, well, this is definitely creepy. But I was going to say, especially statues that are not like just, you know, heroic statues, but are like a statue of someone who's scared or crying or something. That's very weird. And even more weird is a statue hanging from a noose. A golden statue of an old man wearing modern clothing. This must be Al. But how is that possible? Bear is driving. How can that
Whoever
be?
raised this, I'm sorry you had to find me like this.
Oh,
And worse,
how am I?
you'll suffer the same fate I did. I've spent a lifetime in this place, going around and around in circles, searching for a way out. The inscription was right. There is no way back. In here, there are only two options. Death, or that godforsaken doorway into the past. I made the mistake of stepping through it. I wanted to set things right. And I tried. I really tried. Whatever I did, it took me right back to the beginning. Don't make the same mistake. Better to end it all now. And find out what awaits you beyond that portal.
Well, he is American. Remember. I am still in Rome. I'm still in modern day Rome. I forget what their excuse is. A young Roman woman in a state of panic. Yeah, I'm in like an archaeological ruin. Once I go through this portal, whoa, Nelly. The video isn't stuttering for you, right? You're not seeing these weird flashes of color and stuff. A Roman man on his knees as if begging the gods for mercy. But yeah, I'm hoping I can stick with this game and actually finish it for once because it's a little stuttery. That's annoying. I don't know what I can do with that now that I turned it down to a minimum. I have nothing else running besides Steam and shit. Step through the doorway into the past.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
Is Proserpina Persephone? Okay, well, let's get the explanation right now. Why are you speaking English? I basically gonna say it's not. I just understand Latin.
What?
Yeah.
I'm speaking Latin. You are too, although your accent's a little strange. Oh, I see what you did there. Changing the subject like that. Nice try. But I'll ask again. Who are you, and what were you doing in the shrine?
Well, let's continue avoiding the issue for as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, you know, agricultural goddess.
Okay,
of
so it is
springtime?
Persephone. That's what I thought.
You're not from around here, are you? And you've just done it again. You're a sly one, aren't you? One more time. Who are you, and what were you doing in that shrine?
Okay. So I can tell him I've come from the future, or I can just lie. I don't know what I'm dressed like. That would be a useful thing to know. You know, if I'm wearing a modern suit, I feel pretty stupid saying, oh, I'm a Roman. But I don't know that. All the same, there are so many ways he could trip me up if I claim to be a Roman that I think I just won't even bother to try.
No idea what you're talking about. Oh, wait. Are you a bit, you know, not right in the head? That's all right, friend. Everyone's welcome here. We sort of lose track of the date down here, but it feels like the beginning of spring to me, so I'd say early March? It's 817 AUC. Sorry, you look confused.
AUC.
817 years since the
Is
founding
that
of
a
Rome.
real thing?
Which part of the empire are you from exactly?
Well, I have something I know because he's an archaeologist. But it will mean absolutely. He's not going to know about Christ. Whatever. I'll just see what he says.
Hey, not so loud. Just saying that name could land you in trouble here.
Oh,
His
okay.
cultists
Oh,
burned down half of Rome last year.
oh, it's 65
business.
AD. Okay,
I heard Nero executed some of them, but a lot
that
of people
makes
are still angry
that
with
makes
them,
yeah.
even down here.
Indeed, that makes
If
sense.
you're one of them, keep it to yourself. But listen, most folks seem a bit confused when they get here, but you seem very lost, and in more ways than one. So let me make this nice and simple for you. Live by our law here, and we'll all get along just fine. Not laws, law. There's just one, the golden rule, and the punishment for breaking it's, well, it's kind of horrific. But our magistrate insists we take all newcomers to see him, so I guess I'll let him fill you in. So then, you coming? Look, you seem like you might
I'll
need
web
a
around
little
aimlessly a bit
extra help,
first.
and I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I showed you the way. All right, friend, suit yourself. Just don't do anything too reckless till you've spoken with Magistrate Sentius in his villa down there. See you around.
So yeah, I wonder if I played Skyrim, if I would be like, oh, this is totally like, I can tell this or that is from Skyrim. I've never played Skyrim. I know nothing about it, but this game is originally a Skyrim mod. I'm sure it's been changed a lot since that era. Okay.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
What? Hey, come back here. Don't just spout weird shit at me.
Just as the ocean accepts the rivers of all the world, so this place accepts all the souls. But it does not notice the crowds that come. There is only a downward path, gloomy with fatal yew trees. It leads through dumb silence to the infernal regions.
Oh, so it's like Staten Island.
They never do. The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone.
See what you did
Some crowd the Forum, some the house of the ruler of the depths. Others follow their trades, imitating their previous lives.
So she is telling me I died. And I honestly forget if that's actually true. But that's
Help
what she's telling me.
me. You cannot
I guess it
help
must.
me.
I guess it.
I have seen things. A pattern, a terrible pattern. It is better for you if you remain ignorant. Pandora's box must stay closed. I'll say no more.
She is Livia. Okay.
The bloodless shadows. This is their punishment.
Oh, I lost audio. As if enough things weren't going wrong with this game. Hold on, sorry. Oh, we're back. Yeah, she did. It might be significant to note that she didn't say I was dead. She said this is the land of the dead. If I understood it correctly.
Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold braying.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
Oh, there's a shop
They
here.
follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
This again. You're in a world of your own, aren't you?
Well, do you think the future will be better, Eris? I mean, I understand that the modern day is better than Rome, which had, like slavery and, for 99% of the population, it was not good, but do you think our
Ixion
future will be better than our
turns.
present?
Handsome.
I know what caveat emptor means. Let the buyer beware. Yes, I know. Now, this is something in Latin that I don't know what it is. And that doesn't help whatsoever. I'm an archaeologist. I can. The only way out is whoever wrote this was interrupted. Perhaps tragically. Yeah, perhaps. Oh, dice tower. A metal dice tower designed to stop people from cheating when rolling dice. Clearly, cheating must be a problem among Romans. Well, I personally agree with you, Eris. I think many would not, but I think that eventually things get better. Maybe not every single year is better than every previous year, but eventually, on the whole. Now, we have a beer keg with inbuilt cup holders. Is this an actual Roman thing? That would be cool to know.
Handsome.
Ooh, okay.
Ah, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but
Well,
the
what is
moment
this
I
about?
laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before. A certain learning and sophistication.
It's turkey time.
Huh?
Gobble, gobble.
What was that? Some kind of joke? If it was, it wasn't funny. I take back what I said. Suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore.
Mission
Let's just
accomplished.
forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern?
I was trying to flirt back at her just in the less obvious way, but I guess my modern cutting sense of humor is too modern.
Ugh, let it go. Nothing's going to happen between us.
Wow, that just because pick that option? Because I tried to pick the funny option. She just won't even talk to me at all?
Certainly. For 10 denarii.
Okay, I think I have one.
How embarrassing for you.
Oh, now this is a shame. It sounds like she would have told me something if I had flirted back.
You know, normally I'd expect you to buy me a drink before asking if I want to get out of here. Straight to business, huh? I can work with that. As a matter of fact, I do know a way out.
You're like
I'm
the
happy
second
to tell
person
you
I
all
met. That
about
seems too
it,
easy.
But this is valuable information we're talking about, and I don't just give it out like some cheap oracle. So, how badly do you want
What?
it? Is it worth,
I mean, I don't know what the
1,000
economy is, but that seems like a
denarii
lot.
to you? Well, I can't tell you too much, or you'd figure it out for yourself. But I promise you, you'll never have to spend another hour in this city ever again.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Eris, everyone in the past has a British accent. I would love it if they had an Italian accent. That would be very funny to me.
Simple. It's a one-way trip, and I'm not ready to go just yet. I like my life here. One day, maybe, but not now. I think of it this way. I have something of value, and I'm willing to share it for a price. That's not unethical. That's just good business. Now, do you want it or not?
I don't have 1,000, or I have one. One.
If I took your money without giving you what I promised, I'd be breaking the golden rule, wouldn't I?
I don't know because I don't know what it is, except if it's the Christian golden rule, but it isn't.
Well, perhaps you could take out a loan. I understand Malleolus has lent money to others on occasion.
Pizza, pizza.
I just try not to think about it. Drink helps with that. As the saying goes, to drink is human, so we drink.
Is that an actual saying? I thought you guys were a little cleverer than that.
All right, see ya.
Well, I blew that conversation. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get more out of that than I did. We got an upstairs. Got a couple ways to go upstairs. Beer vat,
Stay away
okay.
from my money.
What? A large vat for brewing beer. There's a layer of small insects drowning on the surface. Yum. Oh, Little Caesar is not a historical figure? Okay. That's good to know. A vial containing a rudimentary perfume made from flowers and oil. Always look at the bottom. Whenever you can pick something up in a video game, look at the bottom of it. If it's a picture, turn it around. A brass jar containing some sort of powder for makeup. Again, I wonder how realistic this stuff is, but it's fun to think about. Brass mirror. Where's the mirror part? I guess the brass part is, well, I guess I didn't think of that. Ooh, the key to her chest, okay. Let's not steal that just yet, but make a note of the fact that it's here. Another vial, perfume, another vial. Look, I want the guy next to it. Okay, I think they're all the same. A bust of Minerva, the Roman goddess of strategery. Whoa, look at me. Okay. I don't really know what I'm supposed to get out of this, but I guess maybe I'll find... Oh, this is her chest right here. Okay. Well, maybe it's gonna be the same as the other one. Insects. Great. Yeah, maybe if I can figure out some way for her...
Unless you want me to slip some hemlock into your next drink.
Why the fuck is... What the fuck is her problem? A ceramic bowl full of urine, which ancient Roman used because of its ammonia content to wash and bleach their clothes. Well, big point against not being resurrected as an ancient Roman. Yikes. Horatius' chest. Who is that? Got a helmet. It's a helmet. Can I open this chest? I guess I can. Ooh. Oh, I'd be stealing. Okay, I have seen occasional playthroughs of Skyrim, and I know this is a thing that you look at things and it tells you whether if you took them, you'd be stealing them. We have a fermented fish sauce. Man, this place kind of sucks. I mean, it's interesting, but the fish sauce and urine ambiance is not my thing. Galerius for magistrate, countered by I would rather drink Aurelia's special brew. So people know she has insects in her beer, so why doesn't she fix that?
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
69, nice. Key to the chest in the Shrine of Apollo. And it's not telling me that I would be stealing it, so I'm going to take it. So I guess they shared, for some reason they changed the name to the gods sometimes, and sometimes they didn't. I guess Apollo is Apollo. And yes, we have these very strange statues that seem to be people literally frozen in moments in time. A small household shrine where ancient Romans offered daily prayers for protection. See, I get the feeling that they researched a lot of things. Like, I bet that urine thing, I bet that's an actual thing, because who would even make that up? So I just wonder if everything is accurate or whether they just, like, picked certain things. Who are all these people who live here? Chet, is that true? I should mention I am Italian, and I don't like to think of my ancestors being disgusting dumbasses. Okay, so we have
Ixion turns.
Ixion. Sounds familiar. Is that like a centaur or something? No, it's something with a long entry that I'm not going to read right now. Here's the Zoltar machine. So yeah, we have a whole bunch of people. We have a whole bunch of, I guess, poor people living here. There's this one shop.
Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone that always returns.
So yeah, I wonder if I'm gonna meet all these people. Theophilus had an orgy with 4 girls here and disappointed all of them equally. Oh, snap. You got served Roman style. Did that statue just say I can't move? Nah. That would be crazy. What's down here? Ooh. Oh, this is nice and friendly. Okay, but I'm not ready for that. Let me go back in the... Let me go back to the ghetto. I don't really know what exactly I was supposed to get out of all that talking with her. She said I could borrow money from somebody, but I'm sure I can't borrow 1,000. Even if I could, I don't really trust her anyway. The history of mouthwash. Well, if you want to tell me about it, I'd be interested to know, but if you don't, I get it. The bloodless shadows wander without flesh or bone. Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what that quote-unquote crazy old woman was saying. Portuguese urine. Why did it have to be Portuguese? Was that better? Oh, look at this. That's fun. Because, yeah, most people are opposed, like, no. These people are fighting each other for some reason. Now, why is that? God. Must be able to duck, right? Hello? Yeah, okay, good. Creeper vines. These might be climbable if only they could support my weight. What does that mean? Can I climb them or not? I guess I have to. Oh, did I do it? Can I jump on them? Jump is B. Yeah, that's a good point, Harris. They were probably like, oh, you could use Roman urine, but when you try this Portuguese urine, your mouth is gonna feel so fresh and minty. Alright, I guess maybe I somehow have to bring some sort of object over there to be able to climb that. Now, how do I get out of here? I came from... I feel like I came from this way, but isn't this... Oh, is this... Do I go this way? Yeah, it must be this way. See, look at this. It's creepy.
I will try to help you.
Ah, thanks. Ooh, I found 112 bucks. That's and a bottle of wine. Possibly the last bottle of wine in the city. That might be worth more than 112 bucks, honestly. Take it. Tortoise blood. It just seems like they pick random liquids. That is so weird. Is this a way out? This is also a way out. Okay. Okay, so I know that. Am I crouching? And if so, how do I stop? Oh, there we go. Great. Okay. Alright, so that's a way out. Have I been here? Oh, that's where I start. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. Everything makes sense now. All right.
You, Tantalus, cannot catch the drops of water. And the tree.
If I knew how I would do a poll, which would you rather wash out your mouth with, Portuguese urine or tortoise blood? Can I go in? Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, I feel like I feel like there is actually something in here. Hi, Kiva. Why can't... Oh, it's good. Maybe I'll get the ability to move statues at some point. Ooh. Well, this is very fancy. Old scroll. The Myth of the Golden Rule by Duratas the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin... What does reading mode mean? No. I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for this city. For our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion, he deserves our admiration. But here I must depart from custom, for his attempt for imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, and deserving of our contempt. So not naming what god is quote-unquote responsible for the city. We know they have a temple to Proserpina. They have a temple to Apollo. Somebody had a bust of Athena. But apparently there's one god in particular who is associated with this city. Who among us is not awoken at night in a cold sweat, fearing some sort of accidental transgression of the golden rule? All of us must accept that we are all capable of error, whether from a momentary lapse in judgment or a conscious decision based on faulty reasoning. Yet the great threat, the sort of Damocles that we live under, is, I believe, merely a deception, and I shall prove it to you. Let me begin by dismissing the counter-arguments. First, it may be argued that the inscription stating the many shall suffer for the sins of the one is evidence that the golden rule is very real. But that is logically unsound, for we cannot assume the writers knew any more than we did. That this message was inscribed does not make it true, any more than if I were to inscribe Duratas the Younger as a god. Second, it may be argued that the statues in this place are evidence that the golden rule is real. You need not remind me of that. It was I who discovered them all around this city. It was I who collected them, placed them in the handcart, and placed them in the niches in which they sit today. Why would you do that? Why have the whole city filled with spooky statues in random places? Why not put them in one place? I think that would be much preferable. I will not soon forget them, and yet I refuse to leap to the conclusion that they were once real people. There's simply no evidence to support that conclusion, despite the fact that they're talking to me. But maybe they didn't talk to him. When we read the story of Venus bringing Pygmalion sculpture Galatea to life, we do not believe it is true. Then what? Wait. Then what is your religion? If you don't think that Roman god shit is true, then why are you a Roman? It's like a Christian say. We hear all this bullshit about Jesus coming back to life. Obviously, that's not true. Why should we take a different view here? But ultimately, these arguments are just that. After years of living in fear, there is only one way for me to prove that the Golden Rule is a falsehood, and that is through action. Friends, I apologize in advance for this, but one day you will see this moment as a turning point in our city's history. Let us see once and for all if the Golden Rule is real, as I strike one of you with my fist. This is classic video game writing. Someone writes, I'm about to die, on a piece of paper. I'm expecting to see the statue of him punching somebody. I mean, we saw 2 statues before, somebody punching someone else. I guess it could be that. He said he moved them around. Or the statues get moved around. Look at this. This guy. Yeah, exactly. You have the notes in video games are so funny to me because it's so silly. But okay, so we're sort of getting the feeling of what the Golden Rule is, but I don't think it's explicitly 100% said it yet. Okay, nothing in here. Anything here? Am I going back to the catacombs or whatever? Ooh, that seems dangerous. Oh my god. Oh, I stepped in the fire. Does that matter? Do I have health? Oh, I do. I have a little thing in the lower left. It didn't appear until I got hurt. Now I have it. Well, that sucks. Alright. This may all be the place I came from. I don't want to deal with it right now. Yeah, that's another great one. Bernie, or of course, you know, they just write it down next to the safe. I mean, admittedly, people do that with their computer passwords.
Salve, Dooley. How are you doing today?
I'm sad. Am I going to die in here?
Who's
I
talking?
don't think so, my friend. It's election day today. Perhaps our new magistrate will be kinder than Sentius and let you out.
I hope so. Galerius, what happens when you die?
You're not going to die anytime soon, Dooley.
My mother told me, when you die, a ferryman helps you cross a river, and your spirit lives on in the underworld. Is that true?
Well, yes, but...
Is it true that if you were good, you get to go to Elysium, but if you were bad, you
Disco
get
Elysium?
punished forever and ever in Tartarus?
Something like that, but...
What if I die and go to Tartarus? because they say I've been bad.
I'm not going to let that happen to you, Dooley. I promise.
Thank you, Galerius. Thank you.
Now, I have more work to do, but I'll visit you again soon, alright?
Alright, Galerius. See you then.
All right, so if I'm not mistaken, this was the dude I was talking to before, right? Does he say anything? I can talk to him?
Ah, it's you again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind? Well, it's a long one and kind of sad, but I don't mind telling it. I'm a farmer. Always have been. I grew up in a small village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and two little sisters.
Oh, so that's why he has a British accent. See, it all makes sense.
One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. I sprinted so fast I almost threw up, but by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after, and things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young.
Okay.
It was a struggle. More
All I
raiding
ask you is,
started
how
before
are
too
you?
long.
This is a lot.
We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These Legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were. And what
Okay.
they wanted.
See you later,
I
perhaps,
got my
Freddy?
father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle.
Okay.
There were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. Still burns whenever I think about it.
I'm sorry to hear that. It's sort of the least I could say.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans.
Right.
Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome to be sold to the highest bidder. I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, Romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me, and I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river,
Alright, well, they
screaming
mentioned
and
Nero.
shouting. Never
They
seen
even
anything
said what
like it.
year it was, but I wasn't
Human
paying
beings
attention.
acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow,
They
and
said 65
the
AD.
rest is a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place and started my life over again.
Okay, so Nero was the emperor in 65 AD. So, okay. We are set in the time of Nero, right after the Great Fire. Oh, Chet, that's a fun fact. I'd like to see like a Robin Hood movie. Like, hey y'all, I'm the Sheriff of Nottingham.
That's what I thought too, for a while. But it seems the gods aren't done tormenting me yet. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting, and he'll get his one day. He'll get his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away sometimes.
Okay. The Great Fire was 64 AD, so it's literally right after that. We're in 65, if I'm not mistaken.
Thanks, friend. I knew I liked you. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
Okay. He seems like a good guy, and he seems to be telling me that the leadership here is not good. And I'm not sure if that's because they're just associated with the larger Roman Empire, which isn't good in general, or whether it's something else.
Oh, I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know? Well, as much as I'd love to get out of here, the harvest's always more fruitful in another man's field, isn't it? But Scintilla, Sentius's daughter, went missing a few weeks back. Could be she found a way out. If anyone knows for sure, it'll be her sister,
Is Sentius the
she'd never tell the likes of
leader?
me.
I think so. I think I have a journal or something. I may check that.
I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free.
Okay,
God
yeah.
knows Sentius
Seems
is
clear
never gonna
that
do it.
he must be.
But
He's in
from
charge
what I
of
hear,
prisoners.
Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's gonna take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom. So
Okay,
I'm
so what's
hoping
your
if he's
relationship
elected,
to this
he'll
dude?
release
Is he your
Dooley from his
relative?
cell.
Is he your lover? Is
That's
he
good
just
enough
your
for me.
friend? Who is this guy?
Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. That's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason. Gladly. All right. See you around.
Yeah, I get along so well with this guy. If only I got along so well with the woman who's like, "Oh, you're so hot."
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? My name's Dooley. I live here now because I got in trouble and they said they had to lock me up.
Okay, yeah, I get the feeling he's a little
I don't know. I don't remember
something
things
a little
so
off
good.
about him.
I think it's just because I was looking for treasure. Yes, but I wasn't. I was just looking. They said I did it more than once, but I can't remember things so good. Then they called me mean names. They called me a liar, Billy.
What? Oh, a liability. Okay. I was very offended. How dare you call someone a liar, Billy? That sort of language shouldn't even be in a video game. But okay, they meant the liability. That's not so bad.
Yes. They said I have to live here now, and gave me this letter. But I'm not good with words. Do you think you could read it for me?
Okay. Magistrate Sentius to Dulius. So I guess that's his full name. I'm writing to you in relation to your incorrigible antisocial behavior arising from your obsession with an alleged lost treasure. While I am sympathetic to your plight and the passing of your guardian Hannibal some weeks ago. Hannibal. It can't be that Hannibal, can it? I don't think we're even the right time frame. No, that was much earlier. It is interesting that a Roman would be named Hannibal, though. There's got to be a story there. Well, I wish to impress upon you an important message. The treasure you seek does not exist. Given your memory limitations, it seems likely you simply misremembered. More importantly, since you have on several occasions been caught trespassing, including around these cisterns, which are strictly off limits to all citizens, I've reluctantly come to the conclusion that you're a liability to this community, and must have your freedom limited, lest you break the golden rule. It is my hope that this letter will assist you to remember why you are incarcerated, should you experience further lapses in memory. Well, so this guy's, he's mementoing it. He's gonna keep these things on him because he forgets. Take this letter? I guess I will.
What does it say?
It says what I just said.
My treasure.
Fortune smile
My friend
on you,
Hannibal
brother.
used to look after me. He said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something.
Alright, well,
very
this sounds like a
precious
good
hidden
lead.
away. He gave me this key and made me promise to keep it safe until I found the treasure. But I couldn't find it. All I remember is he said something about the cisterns. But when I went up to the high one, they put me in here. Now nobody looks after me. Except my friend Galerius. And Ek, the priestess lady. She's a nice lady.
Okay. Now, it could just be that they don't want people to mess with the cistern because it's the water supply and they could be bad. But I wonder if there's something else going on. The way they keep mentioning them, it seems like they're making it sound suspicious that they don't want people poking around these cisterns. There might be something going on with that.
Hannibal said I shouldn't give it to anyone I didn't trust. But maybe you could help me get out of here. Then I would trust you a lot.
Exactly. That's very logical. You don't trust me now, but, you know, give me all your stuff and then I'll show you that you can trust me.
Galerius already tried that. He said the magistrate wouldn't listen, no matter what. Like, Galerius? He's nice.
Oh, this is actually going to be a thing?
like
I have to
Galerius.
be a
He made me
fucking
a
campaign
doll
manager?
and everything. If you help
I already
make
did
him
ask him.
magistrate, he can get me out of here, and I can give you the key to my treasure. Hannibal said it was in the cisterns. I can't remember what it was.
Is this
Just
really a good
that
plan? No one's
it
going to vote
was
for this
way up
guy.
high
He's
and
British
very
and
precious.
he killed a bunch of Romans. I feel like this is a hard sell. All right.
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said he always would. But then, he died. It was very sad. He said, if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away. He
I
gave
feel like
me
you
this
said,
key
yeah, you said
and
this.
made me
You,
promise to keep it safe
Move on,
until
move
all I remember is now nobody. You're going to let me out of here? Really? Oh. Please. I hate it here.
well,
It
apparently
makes
the
me
way I'm going to
very
get you
sad.
out of here is by getting this other schmuck elected. I guess that's what we're doing.
Go? You mean
There,
treasure?
there is not much point talking to you. I feel like
Bye bye.
I got what I was supposed to get out of talking to you, which is that you have a treasure. Then I'll worry about that later. But for now, let's keep looking around.
Help! You have to do something.
Okay.
A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon.
Oh, if only I had my
Or
gun.
he's gonna break the golden rule. Fabia, but now's not the time. Are you going to help or not? None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's
This
bow
would
is
be.
the only one
If I
in
had
the
picked the
city.
gun, this would be
You just
really
have to
funny.
improvise.
It'd be like the Indiana Jones scene where he just walks up to the guy with the sword and nonchalantly shoots him. Alright.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over. What? We don't have time for this. I have to go.
We need to listen to the statues. That's bad. That she didn't believe me. Can I move now?
The shrine!
Yeah.
Fabia, no! Oh God, she's dead. Did anyone see that? The
Nope.
whole shrine just
I didn't see anything. Bye.
Why did it get going?
Oh my god, that was funny. Look, I tried to warn her. Oh, can I move?
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am
Fabia.
here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes
I
against
guess
the
I was supposed to say, do you hear
So,
that instead
if
of
you
let's
tell
not
me
do
the
that.
truth, I will allow
I
you to
keep
live.
picking the
But if
wrong
you lie
conversational
to me or
options.
Otherwise obstruct the Emperor's
It's not
business
clear to
in
me
any way,
why the ones I'm
I
picking
will
are
push
bad.
this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
Meanwhile, I'm not paying attention to this guy because I just saw this woman get run into a building that instantly collapsed.
You are not off to a good start. When I ask you a question, I expect an answer. Is that understood?
Alright, this guy's...
Thank you.
We're the one
Now
with the
tell
bow.
me, who are you people, and what is this place?
I wish I had a gun. What? He's not gonna... I feel like he's not gonna put the bow down just because I asked him to. I'll do the first one.
A small community. Ha! I was told Quinctius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
Dude, I just got here. I don't have any
Don't
idea
play
what's
coy
happening.
with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quinctius did, those days are numbered.
Oh, I think it's a goddess. It's a Turkish goddess. Well, that's interesting. I'm not going to worry about that right now.
You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret? So you admit you're not allowed to leave. Threatening me is not going to help you, but in any case, That sounds an awful lot like a cult to me.
Alright, why am I talking
And
to
saw
you?
the
I don't know
inscription
anything.
saying,
Talk
"Many
to
shall suffer
the
for the sins of the one."
leader or whatever.
I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
I get the feeling I was supposed to meet this guy later in the game when I understood better what was happening here. I'm supposed to be explained to him how this city works when I do not know. I mean, I, the player, kind of know because I've seen a playthrough of this game. But I, the character, don't know anything.
A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'm definitely doing things in a different order than expected because this is a reveal that the game hasn't done yet. But yes, I mean, the statues were people who returned to gold as punishment. It was clear they were people. You saw them whispering to me.
You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
And this is a shame that they didn't realize that you could play in a different order than they expected. We didn't turn them to gold, a god did it, and we don't know which one.
Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our god told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret
I don't know what the
century,
point of this conversation is other than
the
to
mantra,
spoil the
human
game.
sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where
Literally do not know who that
Do
is.
not waste it. Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any
Excuse
last
me?
words?
What do I say?
And there's a simple explanation for that. I lied. But if you want to know the truth before you die, here it is.
Okay.
Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates.
Look,
and I
you
can
have
think
a
of nothing
you're one
I'd
guy with
enjoy
you're one guy
more.
with a bow.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Oh, they're shooting at me. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, never mind. Did they get me? Loop number 2. So yeah, I guess I'm supposed to, when I meet the guy in the first place, and he's like, I need to take you to our leader, I'm supposed to say yes, and then the leader's supposed to explain to me what the golden rule is. But I didn't do that. Which, if you don't want to give me the option, if you don't want to
salve,
accept
friend.
that I might not do
I'm
that, then don't give me an
Galerius.
option.
Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina? I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
This is funny. Your name is Galerius, and you're about to offer to take me to see Cynthia so you can tell me about the Golden Rule. You got some Groundhog Day shit going on, if you can't tell.
I guess, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you. Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
What's that? Zip line handlebar.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works,
That's some
it'll be
super
faster than
video
walking.
gamey shit. That doesn't seem
And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen
appropriate
is you take a swim in the
2D
lake.
setting, but okay, there's zip
I
lines.
haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe. Probably.
How am I gonna get you elected magistrate? You're an idiot.
All right. See you around.
Okay, so I have 113 denaries. Flashlight, a key to the chest in the shrine of Apollo, which I don't know what that is. Bottle of wine. I'm betting I can give this to somebody. Somebody's going to want this. Excuse me. Oof. Now, can I? Now this. Oh, now this woman's not going to remember that I said the wrong thing. Now I can say the right thing. That's a beautiful thing about time travel.
Livia, would you stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron? You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades, imitating their previous lives, but they are ignorant.
Alright, so last time I went. Well, let me keep going. I'll keep exploring the same way I went up. So do I have 2 of these now? And now I have 2. Now I have 2 scrolls, okay. That was nothing up there, I think.
Hello? Hello? Bye-bye.
Okay. I think I need 2 of everything I... Whoop. Julie's up. I did not do it, Julie. It's a strong legal argument. Right, so then I came over here, and then this woman was like, help us. Yeah.
Help! You have to do something. A man arrived in the baths.
I'm really tempted to do the exact same thing and watch her go in that building and have it fall on her head again.
To do something.
But I guess I probably
He's
should.
gonna break the golden rule. Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
Do not go in there. Woo!
What? Why? All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
All right. 1 life saved. Now I have to figure out what to say to this guy. But I have the advantage that I've already had this conversation.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is? You're right, I am. I must be getting a reputation. I suppose I might as well get right to it then. Do you have any last words? As a matter of fact, I do. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, and I can think...
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
That was not effective. Yep. Okay, so what am I supposed to say to this guy? Am I supposed to meet this Quintius guy? I had the option to lie and say, yo, he's over here. I guess I could do that. Let me try that, or else I guess I could just go a different way and not deal with this guy. Hello?
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost?
Oh, really? Oh, I look hurt. Oh, I thought we kind of time looped like this. None of this ever happened. I look hurt.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life. Oh, I guess how much did I... Of course. What did you want to know? All right. See you around.
Okay.
You, Sisyphus, attack or pursue the stone.
I guess I kind of get the metaphor that she's going for now. All right. Yep, there's a guy. Oh no.
You, a man. You have. Thank you. What?
Okay.
Stop right there.
The empty shrine. Oh, okay. Oh, right, of course. He's gonna go in there and the thing's gonna fall on him. I just put that together. I saw this option before. There's just like, oh, I could just lie and tell him I saw him, but no, I'm leading him to the place that's gonna fall on his head. Yes, of course, that's what I should do.
Thank you. For your service to the Empire, I'll let you live for now, but you'd best make sure our paths don't cross again.
Let me just follow you over there. Just make sure you get there safely. Okay, yep, you're almost there. Yep, that's it right there. Just make a left. Okay. Have a good trip.
Lying degenerate.
Awesome. And oh baby, now I've got a wooden bow. Yoink. By order of Emperor Nero, all loyal sons of Rome are ordered to hunt and execute the arsonist and murderer, Tiberius Quintius Crispus, a citizen from the Aventine district of Rome. He's about 40 to 50 years old. He's average height, average build, has dark hair, and has one green eye and one blue eye. Well, you at least gave 1 out of 4 things that could help someone find this guy. He's typically clean-shaven. He's a known associate of cultists and suffers from delusions of grandeur. And arrows. The money. All right, baby. Now we're talking. Now I've got a weapon.
You there? I'm sorry to trouble you, but I couldn't help but notice that fine bow you're carrying. No idea how you managed to get your hands on it, especially in the light of our dear old magistrate's ban, but I'm impressed. And before you ask, no, I wouldn't dream of trying to buy it from you. I have no use for a wooden bow myself. But I would like to propose a joint business venture of sorts.
Ooh, a side quest? I'm listening.
Tell me, do you have any idea how people here end up as golden statues?
The statues come to life and fire golden bows arrows at them.
And here I was thinking I was the only one to figure it out. In any case, supposedly 1 or 2 of those arrows is enough to turn a full-grown man into gold.
Right.
Of course, that is a travesty, a terrible, horrible waste of human life, which has to be stopped. And yet, on the other hand, I can't help but think of a tale told by that Greek fella Aesop, the goose that laid the golden egg. With the ability to transmute organic matter into gold, one could create infinite wealth. Use your imagination. Golden animals, insects, trees and plants. The Midas touch without the drawbacks. We are talking riches beyond imagining. And even if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, half of infinite wealth...
What is he actually proposing?
Infinite.
Does he think?
Interested?
Does he think that I can turn people into gold? Where is he going with this?
Look, I might have skimmed over that one, but don't be so pedantic. Are you interested or not?
I guess I could just say I'm interested and not do it.
Excellent. So the first question is, how do we get our hands on one of those golden bows? Now, I have a plan, but first, tell me, are you familiar with the story of the goddess Diana?
My character probably would be. He's an archaeologist, but why don't you tell me?
No problem. Allow me to explain. Diana is our goddess of the hunt, the moon, and the underworld, depending on who you ask. The one thing priests and poets agree on is that she carried with her a golden bow and a quiver of golden arrows. And it just so happens that there is a shrine of Diana in this very forum, with a prominent statue of the goddess herself. And would you like to guess what she's holding in her hand? Precisely. I can't tell you how many hours I've spent in that temple staring at it, trying to figure out how to retrieve it without breaking, you know
This
what.
is stupid. That's not going to be a golden bow, like... There's no reason I think we can shoot that.
Oh, gods no! If you tried that, we'd all be dead within moments, I'm sure. No, here's what I propose. You give your bow to me, I cover it in a thin layer of gold leaf, and we create a replica of a golden bow. Then you enter the shrine, extinguish the braziers, and under cover of darkness, swap out the fake for the original. It's not theft exactly, it's more of a trade. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous path, and there's no way of knowing where it will lead. But in my experience, all the best adventures begin with a risky first step. Now, you must have questions. Ask away. I'm more of an ideas man, whereas you're obviously the more resourceful and heroic type. I have complete confidence in you.
So the way that this works, in case it's not already abundantly obvious, is that the golden rule is when one person breaks the law, everyone suffers. If one person breaks the law, everyone gets shot by these weird archers and turned into statues. So this would be breaking the law, and everyone would die. Regardless of whether you switch it, regardless of whether you steal something and switch it out for something of lesser value.
Because the gods would see you, of course. Hence my proposal. When Prometheus stole fire from the gods and became a hero to all mankind, do you think he was worried about the danger?
Oh, as an archaeologist, I know basic mythology.
Only because he was silly enough to get caught. So, are you in, partner?
If you don't like action or horror elements, feel free to decline. There's horror elements. Alright, like I said, I'll just say I'm gonna do it. Probably not do it.
Now, if you'll hand over your bow, I can get started applying a layer of
Oh.
gold leaf. This is a quality weapon. Now,
Oh, I lose
bear
my
with me for a
bow
moment.
effect. Oh fuck! I didn't think of that.
And here we are, a gold leaf bow.
No, I hope I can still shoot. Fuck. Can I not shoot this anymore?
Now, I've gone and unlocked the Shrine of Diana for you, so as quick as you can, head on inside. It's just at the end of the street on the left. May the gods not watch over you.
Oh no, I may have messed up. Alright, I hope I can still fire this bow. I don't know. It'd be a shame if I can't. Oh, who are you?
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so
I
you can
feel
just
like
call me
someone
Virgil.
mentioned this name.
Oh, it means someone thinks I'm a sinner, and that I'm going to break the golden rule. Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company. Hey, nothing gets by you, huh? Sorry, that was mean. Yes, I like men. And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagos, you expect greater
Noviomagos.
hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats
Yeah, you're
away
right,
at you
it's
slowly,
French.
until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world, with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi. Nice of you to say, but not necessary. In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong. It's not just graffiti. I have quite the collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Wait, I thought everyone was a cultist.
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my
Oh,
nature
the
as
cultists.
sin.
Oh, he means the
Can you
Christians.
believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it.
Yep,
Not
yep,
since
yep,
they
yep.
supposedly burnt down half of Rome last
Ooh,
year.
this gave us a
and went
message, and
into
I'm here
hiding.
for it.
All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the golden rule. What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused. Come back and let me know what you find.
Okay, so that's a little side quest I have now. Virgil, they may not see you yet, but I want you to know I see you. It's the same thing. Virgil, I know who you are and what you want. Turn away from this path before we all suffer for your sins. This would be the thing that really sucks about, one of the many things that really sucks about having this golden rule there, would be like, well, if you don't do what I say, we're all gonna die. Your sin isn't your own problem, it's everybody's problem. So is this guy like a blacksmith or something? guess. Okay, you have a thing over here.
Salutations. Greetings. I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together.
This guy has an accent, but I think he's Greek or something.
Say, my sartorial friend, your clothing is most
Yeah, what am I wearing? Please tell me.
Leather boots in place of sandals,
Okay.
trousers with precise stitching.
So I'm wearing modern clothes.
Curious design. I have traveled distant trade routes from the markets of Damascus to the farms of India, and never have I seen anyone dressed quite like you. Tell me, I must know. From which
Is it going to ask me where I'm from? Is it like when it asks me my name, I get to type in? My nation doesn't exist yet. Sure. What if I was from? What if I was from China or something? I guess every nation is sort of like. Even if the vague idea of the country still exists, probably nothing is literally the same as a same governmental entity as it was 2,000 years ago. From beyond the edge of the known world, you would never believe me if I told you. Well, I'll just say you'd never believe me.
And now you have me more intrigued than before. But since it appears you do not wish to share, I will wait until we are better friends. We will have much time here to get to know one another. But for now, do you require assistance? I know you do not require clothing, so information perhaps? This is troubling, is it not? I'm afraid I have no idea. It is ridiculous,
okay, so
though. Virgil is a fine
when
man.
you said ask around the forum,
My young friend
the forums were, this is the forum, so that's
that
gonna
she
be.
saw someone leaving graffiti on his shop front last night. Perhaps you should ask her about it.
Oh, okay. I talked to her. I sent her over to the bakery, wherever that is. That's where she is.
My story? How kind of you to ask. I am a tailor and I run the humble shop in the forum. You mean to say, with all the turmoil and terror of the Golden Rule, and so few customers, why bother setting shop at all? I'll tell you, it is precisely because of the Golden Rule that I wish to remind my friends of the importance of looking one's
Okay.
best. I say, the more of our customs we preserve down here, the more we can preserve a semblance of normality, the better our chances of keeping our heads. Don't you agree?
I mean, seems, guess it can't hurt.
Oh, and there is another reason too. If we all end up as golden statues for future generations to marvel at, I don't know about you, but I would like to look my best. A good question. A very good question indeed. And I would be happy to tell you if only I could remember it clearly myself. I remember I had just been to Rome to sell an extraordinary selection of wares, and drowning in coin, I decided to celebrate my success. I rented a prestigious villa by the Tiber, invited over a few select friends, and we began making our way through some of the most
Ooh, does
exquisite
this guy want my wine
money
bottle?
could buy. Quite a lot of it, in fact. Now, I have had visions and awoken in strange places before. I have even found myself naked in the desert sands more than once, but none of that compares to this. This time, I remember people screaming, then falling into a void as empty as time before creation, gasping for air, and then nothing. When I regained my faculties, I was lying naked by the banks of the Tiber, gods know how many miles from my villa. Indeed. I'm lucky I was carrying a little extra weight. I believe it kept me afloat. In any case, it seems I'd been rescued and resuscitated by a benevolent stranger. I went to find firewood for his campfire, stumbled across a cave, and discovered that trapdoor temple. And here I am. Anything you like. Shh! Not so loud! What are you playing at?
Oh, I'm not allowed to ask this?
Have you not been told about the last attempt? Oh, then I suppose this duty falls to me. Ah, it is a long story. Aha, you are witty. I like that. Of course, the first question any of us asks when we first arrive is, how do I escape? It is only natural after all. And scaling the chasm wall is out of the question, for it is simply too steep and too far. But as they say, if the wind fails, use the oars. And here the second option is to leave the way we came in, through the shaft above the bath.
Okay, that...
See, the shaft is quite high, but if one gathered up enough wood, one could make a series
Somehow
of
I
ladders
doubt
and climb
this is
one's way
accurate.
out. They have. I am getting to that. There was an attempt made by resourceful fellows who lived here some years ago. They even decided to keep records of their escape attempt for posterity. Unfortunately, as soon as they began to carry the first ladder down the hallway, they heard a godlike voice shake the entire city, and that, tragically, is where their tale ends. So it seems that to merely attempt escape is to invite the wrath of whichever god oversees this place. And so I say...
Oh, so it sounds like they themselves don't know which god it is.
Ah, yes. The many shall suffer for the sins of the one. As a Greek, this is nothing new to me. It is how our gods operate.
Since when is this?
Have you not heard the tale of the god Hades? He was
Right.
the first to learn this dreadful lesson when he abducted Persephone and imprisoned her in the underworld. When Demeter, the mother of Persephone, learned of this, she did not punish Hades, the guilty one. Instead, she changed the climate of Earth so that it became hot and dry. Nothing grew. The grain turned to empty husks and the rivers dried up. Innocent people died by the tens of thousands until at last the other gods were forced to act lest they have no worshippers left. So yes, we know this rule. This has always been the case. The golden rule has
Is that the
barely brought
thing?
it
Is that
into
how that story goes? I thought it was just like there was winter or something.
If we are to survive, I say we must each heed the simple wisdom of Thales of Miletus, first of the 7 sages of Greece, who said, avoid doing what you would blame others for doing.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? But it is not enough for us to do
Let's
this
see.
alone. For even
It's
if
the Christian golden rule.
99% of us adopt this principle, that will never be enough. Sadly, no matter how well we protect ourselves, the life's work of many good people can be undone in the blink of an eye by a single selfish act.
Yeah, or that's what I thought. I didn't think it was like, oh, the entire Earth, everyone died. Alright, whatever. Maybe this guy didn't go to Sunday school.
Ah, the voice of experience. I am sorry for your loss, my friend. But on a lighter note, I will say one thing for the Golden Rule. For all their grim and haunting poses, these golden statues do make magnificent models for my clothing, do they not? I hope that our paths cross again soon, my friend.
Okay, but he didn't actually know anything about who's
This part
harassing
of my
this
shop
other
is off
guy.
limits, even for you, my sartorial friend.
Well, you say that.
Greetings
See?
and salutations.
See, this is what you should do with all these statues. Just throw them in the corner so no one has to look at them. What is this? I won't go in there just yet. There might be more people. More merchants. Somebody may know something. Here's another home remedy type thing.
Wonder how much one of these statues is worth on the outside.
I'm still annoyed at you. If I can't shoot my bow, I'm gonna be so pissed. Nerva again. Ares. Okay.
Salve.
Who said that? I don't know who said that. Okay. Thought there'd be more merchants out here, but apparently there aren't. Is there anything? That was in there. Okay, let's go in this building. Especially since somebody would find me. Oh, this is the Shrine to Anna. Okay. Well, this is going to be a terrible idea, but I guess the worst that happens is we start the loop over, right? Can't be worse than that. Let's inspect the statue of Diana. Ooh, this is... I don't like the... Oh, there's a bee up. I get the feeling this is going to be ugly. Okay. Diana.
You like jazz?
Okay. Swap out the fake golden bow for the real one. How do I do that?
That's how you get ants.
Do I need to go to my inventory?
And I, for one, welcome our new insect overlords.
Yeah, how do I do this? Yeah, I kind of, if there's a way to equip things from your inventory, I don't know what it is. Yeah, this. Oh, right. Fabia, that's the person who would know about Virgil. Okay, so that's why I didn't find any more people who knew about that. Swap out the fake golden bow for the real one. How do I do it? Do I somehow... Do I use my A buttons? It's a flashlight. Oh! Okay. That didn't accomplish anything. Hold on a sec. Okay, the thing I'm looking at says aim at the bow in the statue's hands, and you should get a prompt. to exchange the fake bow with the real one. Oh boy, it's locked. Oh, okay, well that was extremely annoying. Okay.
Is that you, partner? Do you have the bow? Wonderful. Just go ahead and slide it under the door for me and I'll unlock it for you. A little bit slow, aren't you? Yes, I locked you in, and until you give me my bow, you're gonna stay in there, like Tantalus in Tartarus.
Yeah, that had a nice ring to it.
No, technically, I never said that. I said, if we were to split all those riches between the two of us, infinite wealth is still infinite. It's hardly my fault if you can't tell the difference between
Oh, okay, that's pretty clever.
Oh, I do love a good loophole.
Now I'll give you points. I feel like threatening to kill someone in this environment is a pretty empty threat.
You're just gonna have to take your chances,
Honestly,
I'm afraid.
you would be killing yourself along with everyone else.
And don't even think about giving me the fake one. I'll recognize my own handiwork. I would reconsider my position quickly if I were you. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you're stuck in there with a hornet's nest, and they can be
Yeah, I
rather
did notice
aggressive
that.
toward intruders. You know, some say it takes 27 hornet stings to kill a man, but I always wondered how anyone could have known that. Let's find out if they were
You like
right, shall
jazz?
we?
Did that work? Escape the temple. Let's go down. Oh. Oh, I'm loading. Okay, cool. Okay, this is exciting. Wonder how many hours I have. Oh, 6. Because I shot several into Diana for no reason. Well, that's not good. Hopefully if I time loop again, I get my hours back. I'm not entirely sure how inventory is compatible with the time loop. The algae? What about it? Yeah? What do you want me to do with it? What? What? I'm up by a chest, okay. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Thing. Can I get? Thank you. Good eyes. Last hour 6 and 112 bucks. Oh my god, thank you so much. I'm noticing that. Now she said the algae, what? Shoot it. Oh, okay. Eventually they just tell you what to do. These statues. I forget which button that is. All right, because it turns to gold. Things turn to gold. That's the whole point. Now, how do I get onto... Did I just fuck everything up? Do I need to shoot this too for some reason? I don't know why I would. Maybe it needs to jump from there to there. Yeah, that's probably it. Jump crouch. Thank you. Okay, good. Navia's journal.
My beloved Galatea, I write this so that one day, when we're finally together, you will understand what I've done and why I had to do it. The others will call me mad or a monster, but I don't care what they think. Everything I'm doing here, I'm doing for you.
Okay.
I'll start at the beginning. Soon after my arrival here, as I walked down a corridor lined with golden statues, I thought I heard a whisper behind me. A rasp of air, as if vocal cords of metal strained to say a word or two. I tried to dismiss the idea, tried to concentrate on my work as the city's medic, but that tortured whisper haunted me. Weeks later, in the hallway to the bathhouse, I heard it again and found myself drawn to the statue of a Roman woman wearing a stola. Her face was contorted with anguish and fear, and disturbingly, it was as if she was looking right at me. As I walked past her, I heard that strained whisper again, and turning back, I discovered that even though I had moved, she was still looking right into my soul. That was when it dawned on me. This was no statue. This was a woman trapped within that golden prison.
Yeah, I understand
Naturally,
that. I
I
get
told
that.
the others, but when I could not reproduce the results of my experiment, they would not believe me. But from that moment on, I knew the full horror of this place. Immobilized within these statues are living human beings. It was that day, my love, that my heart broke.
Okay. Ooh, bunch of arrows. Nope, not that many, only 7. Yep, and now I can... Oh, do I have to turn... Oh, this is how I'm going to climb up that thing that I found earlier. Yeah, it was like, how am I going to climb up these branches? Answer... gold. How you doing? So now, okay, how do I actually climb this? So up, I'm going. Come on. Yeah, that was fun. I have to admit, I thought getting the golden bow was going to kill everybody, but somehow I got away with it. Of course, if I shoot a person, I assume I'm going to fuck everything up. Yep. How about no? Okay. Didn't know that was a thing. Hi, Cuba. Oh god. Okay. So some of these statues are mad about something, and they're... Oh, she turned her head. I saw... Don't think I didn't see that. I saw you turn your head. Oh, now we're getting creepy. I like it. that many arrows. I mean, they seem to be happy that turning them back into gold. They seem unhappy when they're peeled, as it says. I don't know if they're happy when I kick them, but I'm definitely gonna do it.
Hi, Kiva!
It's, another one. Oh, run out of arrows, my dudes. And of course, it's so satisfying. They go such a long way. They always go literally head over heels, and they go quite a long way. It's very satisfying. But what is going on? Why are this? I don't remember this. I don't remember seeing this part or anything. Why are these statues like this? Well, you know. Turn the algae to gold. Okay. What else we got? Shit. Kick. And kick. That one wasn't very satisfying. I can only that was a very unsatisfying kick. Okay, so I only have 2 arrows left. What is going on here? Can't go that way. Why is this happening? Why are these dudes sort of coming back to life in a way that seems even worse than being a statue? Can I kick you? I can take your coin pouch. It's wild, man. Can I get up here? No, it's nothing. Whoa. Oh, somebody whispered something. Oh, I got a big chest. Oh, a couple more arrows. I mean, I could use it, but it's... Oh, I need to go down. Oh boy, okay. Yep. Yep. You're welcome. That's why they gave me a couple extra arrows, but I still only got 2 left at this point. Give me some arrows? 6. Kind of figured. Okay. Missed. I'm supposed to shoot the algae. That time I had a choice. Oh, you schmucks, get out of here. Oh, I'm in trouble. Okay. Okay. Oh, I need to, like... I should have done this before. That was stupid. Whoop. Fuck. Gotta be a little more efficient. Do I need to turn this to gold to get up there? Oh, come on. Come on, baby. There you go. It's gonna give me some more arrows. He's being very nice to me. This is cramped. A whole bunch of it. Out of arrows. Okay. Now what the fuck do I do? Just run through here? Wish I hadn't shot arrows at a statue of a goddess for no reason. Alright, yep, I guess it's just running. Yoink. Arrows? Good. And Hakiba. Okay. What a strange adventure this has been. Okay. Have I been this way? Is this where I came from? I feel like maybe. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I need to... Well, first I need to kick this guy. Hi, Kiba. Then I need to get around. I need to turn this into gold. And go this way. Get some more arrows. Now what? This thing I broke, whether I hope that thing I broke wasn't important. I give it. Okay. Okay. What? Okay.
Me?
Up the right. Who else wants to get killed? Oh, I only have 3 left. I wish you stood in the algae like you were probably supposed to do, but I could have gotten many of you. I can help you once I find... Whoop, shit. Once I find a chest full of arrows. Which I'm betting is around here somewhere. But I could be wrong. Oh god. Oh, am I dead? Yeah, I imagine that all those zombies were supposed to get the first let's kick this guy. We're supposed to get a pool full of algae, so I didn't have to use so many arrows on them. Yeah, if you guys just get all in the middle, that would really help me out. Shit. I actually don't know how to get down from here. How do I... Fucking hell. I'm like stuck here. Ah! Okay. Yeah, you guys run at me. Run at me. Oh, I already turned this to gold. That's not gonna work. Shit. Need a new place for it to go. Same thing's gonna happen right now. Unless I find... This door is locked. I just need to find a chest. The thing is, I'm not sure there is one. Oh, now this door's closed. Oh, God. Okay. How am I gonna kill all of these dudes with 7 arrows? Oh, there's more arrows here. That's... Oh. That might help. I can just get twice as many arrows. Okay. Okay. What? Ah! Fuckers. I'm gonna have one left. Done with this. Oh, I can headshot them. Okay. It takes 2 normally. But I can headshot them and only take one. Okay, so that's how you save arrows, potentially. That said, there's supposed to be like a key. This door is locked. Tip, take a look at the scroll nearby. Well, this game doesn't wait too long to tell you what the answer is. Okay.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city as if in a nightmare. What must life be like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their own personal Tartarus, consigned to eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient
I saw you.
My mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus
saw you
and
move.
Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor who fell in love with a beautiful statue,
Yeah,
and who,
so
praying to Aphrodite
yes,
for
I
aid,
noticed this.
discovered
She's right
that
to
his
Galatea.
beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your real name, just one I have borrowed from a story. But when I turned to look at you, I saw the most exquisitely beautiful woman I have ever known. Yes, forever frozen in a look.
No, they said Silken to Gold was supposed to shoot the curtain.
Our meeting gave me new purpose. To free you from
Unless,
your golden
no, never mind. Good thing that seems to autosave frequently. Do I need to go back and read that note again? Because it was still explaining a bunch of shit to me while I was dying.
My beloved Galatea, after I learned the
What is
terrible
this?
truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city.
For a test
as if
surgical
in a
procedure, a rack.
What must life
It
be
looks like this custom-made rack has been used to hold down golden statues and peel the golden layer from them.
trapped in their
Surgical
own personal
tools.
Tartarus, consigned to
Naevia.
eternal
Okay, so
torment,
whoever's writing this
too
letter
horrific for any sane mind to comprehend.
was somehow trying to free the people by... Oh, okay. I get what happened. She was trying to peel the gold off them because she thought it would free them, but I guess it didn't work and it just made their pain worse.
Of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others
Why are you
became
here?
more concerned by my charity, I sought solitude from them, preferring the company of my tormented charges. Discovering a way into the abandoned palace, I began to spend my days walking its halls
I don't have
and
any
sharing
hours
with
left.
its occupants ancient tales,
run.
my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and
this is going
Galatea.
I needed to be where they were the first time. Now they're spawning closer to me. There were arrows right there. Okay, that figures. Meanwhile, I'm not hearing the end of this
After
epic
I learned
monologue.
the terrible truth about the golden statues, I wandered the city.
There
as
were
if in
arrows
a
right
nightmare.
there.
What must
yeah,
life be
okay.
like for these poor souls, entombed in gold, but kept alive somehow? Trapped in their
Go,
own
run.
personal Tartarus, consigned to
run.
eternal torment, too horrific for any sane mind to comprehend. I tried to offer them what small mercies I could. I began to talk to them, to keep them company. I'd imagine backstories for them, give them names, and tell them of the world, of the histories and stories I'd learned as a child. As the others became more concerned with my charity, I sought solitude from them.
Yeah, I think they like cease to exist. They're alright, they just like they're not in the room they're supposed to be and they're confused. Okay, that's fine.
I began to spend my days walking its halls and sharing with its occupants ancient tales, my mind turning to those of Apollo and Daphne, Perseus and Medusa, and Pygmalion and Galatea. Pygmalion, the sculptor, who fell in love with a beautiful statue, and who, praying to Aphrodite for aid, discovered that his beloved Galatea had come to life. It was then that I heard you whisper to me, Galatea. Forgive me. I know that is not your room. Just one I have
Okay, gotta be on the lookout for more arrows. Because the game doesn't want me to run out. But I just miss them and I do. There we go.
Your face, forever frozen in a nook of haunting sadness. Our meeting gave me new purpose. To free you from your golden prison, so that I might one day be.
So that's the way I probably could go, but let's not go there right this second.
Name to me. So I gathered tools for the long and difficult task ahead, barred the doors to this place,
I don't have a choice,
and set to work.
So yeah, this woman perhaps reasonably thought that she could free these people, but apparently it doesn't work like that. Yeah, no, that would also work. I heard them whispering to me, "Silk to gold." Well, I fell down. I have to do this all over again. Oh, motherfucker! All right, I'll just run through like I did last time. Hey, they didn't stop. Well, that's highly disadvantageous. Oh, do you think shooting the curtain? I thought they meant shooting the curtains while they were sort of near them. Do you think they... Are you saying shooting the curtains so, like, they can't get through? Maybe shooting curtains to gold would stop them. Yeah, maybe. Yep. That's correct. Okay. Ah! Hate you. Hate you. I'm probably supposed to shoot. Ah, I am very confused about how many guys are in here. Or is it... I think... Oh, you know what happened, I think maybe that room... This room that I'm coming up on has 2 sets of curtains. I have to shoot this. And I also have to shoot... First I do this. Shoot, motherfucker. I also have to do this. I think they may have come through this way. But yeah. This guy I might not be able to do anything about. Besides shoot him. But yeah, that's it. Except I'm out of arrows. Wasn't there? Oh, I can't go through that. Oh, I can. Did I not pick up? Maybe if I could kick him through this hole. I don't exactly know how I'd like arrange that then. Kind of doing it. Kind of doing it. Kind of doing it. Kind of doing it. Ah! Didn't work. Yeah, I can kick him out the window. Doubt it. He's not gonna. I have to like crouch down, and when I crouch down, I can't kick. Or can I? I can. Oh, right in the nads. Oh, look at this view. This is someone's fetish right there. Yeah, what the fuck am I supposed to do about this one guy? This is hilarious. Oh, I didn't. I have arrows. Just failed to take them 12 times. Motherfuckers! Okay. I had arrows sitting right there. I just didn't take them, and then I didn't take them, and then I didn't take them. Okay. Now, the way that I can avoid all this bullshit happening again is to shoot this. It's very simple. And now I zoom this. Okay. Now, do I go up? Do I keep wall crawling? I can. Okay, good. Duck. Duck. Go. Okay. More arrows. Good. Right. Should I not have done that?
Oh, boy. Please. You. Please. Kill me.
Nice. I can't get through this though, so what the fuck do I do now? Unless... Does ducking help? What am I supposed to do? I can't get through. This never happened before. The point of this was that they can't get through. Can I load save game? Is that a thing I can do? Oh yeah, you're right, Bernie. I thought that for some reason I was stopping them from getting through, but I could get through. But no, I also can't get through if I turn it to gold. So right now, it's not a good answer.
Kill me.
Go. No. Fuck. Yeah, I need to run past them to the other side of the curtain and then do it. But they kind of pile on you, and it seems like when they're hitting you, you can't move, so that's the problem. Fuck! I already fucked up. Great. Well, starting to get a little... I've had enough about enough of this, to be honest. Didn't even hit that guy. Okay, so now I go, kick, go. Okay. Do it again, I guess. Try it again. God, they are right on me, and I can't. Yeah. How exactly do I do this? I don't seem to have time to turn around and shoot the curtain before they get in it. Oh god. Oh, this would actually be... If they came one at a time, I'd be good. Maybe if there's some way I could sort of be a little stealthy and like... Can I get rid of one without others noticing? Maybe. Fuck! I think that might be the right idea. It's just gonna be real hard to do. Come at me, bro. Gotta be so careful. Yeah, see that? Yeah, it does. What? Why did that work? I don't understand the mechanics of these guys. They all just fell down and died. Why'd that happen? You know, maybe I should save. I kick them into the curtain, but why does that kill them? The curtains aren't gold. I mean, they're just curtains. I'm gonna try. Yeah. Gonna try being a little stealthier and see what that gets me. Yep. Yeah, oh, just a... I thought that would be important, but it's there you go. That's how you do it. There's probably more arrows. good. 20. I give it. Stealthy lads. Hup. Okay, so this is a setup for a bunch of people to run at me, and I shoot the grass. Ah! Kind of like that. But it fits. It has to be a bunch of people, otherwise it's not worth it. Oh, nice. Now I'm headshotting now. Take a seat. How y'all doing? Anyone alive? Any of these statues? How are you feeling? Are you like, kill me? No? Good. Take a look at the scroll nearby. Man. I like that this game holds you by the hand, honestly, because look, who needs it? Take a look at the scroll nearby.
My beloved Galatea, my attempts at freeing these souls from their golden prisons have not been going to plan.
Yeah, no
my
shit.
first charge was a Greek woman who I called Iodame after the Athenian turned to stone to Medusa. Drilling
Don't
through
like
the
that.
gold that impressed her, I was vindicated by the discovery that beneath half an inch of gold, which is so rigid it must be some kind of alloy, was living flesh. Unfortunately, this golden alloy seems to have fused with her skin, so removing it exposed the sinew and muscle beneath, and appeared to cause her great pain. At first, I braced myself, expecting that inflicting such pain would break the golden rule, and yet, somehow, it did not. It
Well,
seems
that's a
whichever
decent
god
point.
is
Why didn't
responsible
these
for imprisoning
experiments
these
break the
poor
golden
souls
rule?
does not care about their suffering at all.
It's more
Forsaken, undeterred, I pressed on, working late into the night, attempting to remove the golden layer that encased her as delicately as I could. Eventually, I was able to free most of her body, but when I released her from her restraints, her first act was to lunge for my throat, clawing at me with all her strength and those sharp metal talons. This was my thanks for trying to save her. Whatever possessed Iodame to attack, she was clearly not a suitable subject for my experiment, and I was forced to lock her inside an isolated wing of the palace and bar the door. As I continued working on others, I could hear her flailing and launching herself at the other side endlessly. Regrettably, other experiments bore similar results, and after relocating a few times, most of the palace is now too dangerous to work in. Still, as much as my heart aches to know that you're suffering, I cannot risk attempting to
I'm hearing a lot of
undo
creepy whispering.
not until I have perfected a method that will bring you back to me, whole in both mind and body, and ensuring your humanity is preserved. I promise you this. One day we will be together, even if I have to free every last statue in this god's forsaken place.
It keeps happening. It's hard to hit them in the head. Like I didn't. Okay. You know, bunch of arrows. Well, this looks real bad. It appears to be dead. Evidently, its death didn't break the golden rule. Now, her explanation for that is that the gods have forsaken these people. And I guess maybe, but I wonder if that's really what it is. Man, this is fucked up. I'm not sure I can take her explanation at face value. Man! This is disturbing. I don't even really know what I'm looking at. Just a bunch of statues and what kind of looks like gold mixed with blood and... Yeesh. This is... I hope this isn't, you're about to fight 20 statues music. Closer. Yeah? Are you whispering me to me? Well, someone is. Oh, okay. Good to know. Yeah?
And you must be the wretched snake who broke into my palace and disturbed my experiments. And, worst of all, look at what you made me do to her. This never would have happened if you
What?
just
I
stayed
just
away.
got here. You've been
You're
writing...
going to pay for that.
You've been writing notes. Has she has she written all 3 of these epic notes in the past hour? How does this make sense? Well, here is something I don't know. Is there a self-defense exemption? Am I allowed to kill her if she's gonna kill me?
Liar! I locked and barred the gate. I left a message warning you all to leave me alone. I just wanted to do my experiments in peace for her. And now look at her. You made me turn the most beautiful woman I've ever seen
How is
into
this me?
Look at her. She's in agony. All I wanted was to spend my last moments with her.
You are crazy pants.
To hear her speak freely instead of in those cryptic whispers.
Name one thing I did to make you do any of
Stopped
this.
whispering to me. And now I discover
Oh, I
she
see.
started whispering to you instead. What's so special about you? What do you mean the same voice?
It's like this. It's like someone else is whispering to me through the statues.
Yes. I remember when they used to whisper to me. They did sound similar. I just thought it was because all voices sound the same when they whisper. But now that I think about it, they were all benevolent and seemed to share a common knowledge. But if these bodies are mere conduits for that one voice, then this body is nobody. And everything I've done here was... Wait, I see what you're doing. You're trying to steal her away from me. You plan
Yes,
to
I
wait
really want
until I've
this
done all the hard work,
defaced
then swoop
statue
in.
with
Is that
the...
it?
Alright, I'm not gonna call her crazy. suspect that she wouldn't take kindly to that.
Liar! You tried to steal her away from me, and now look what you made me do.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't peel you too.
Because, you fucking genius, will turn to gold. Don't you understand how any of this works?
What are you talking about? Wait. So you're saying you weren't coming for us?
Well, she kind of does deserve to die, and I'm tempted, but I just don't know if killing her would violate the golden rule, so I'm gonna let her slide.
So I did all this. I ruined her. For nothing. What have I done?
Pretty much.
Oh God, I feel sick. I am.
Oh, if you kill yourself, does it break the golden rule? Do I need to stop her from doing that if that's what she's going to do?
It's the air. Coming into contact with her flesh. It's agonizing for them. But the only way to fix it will be to break the golden rule and let it run its course. At least that way she'd be golden again, and we'd be together. All it would take is one little cut.
Wait, I can undo this? Oh, you mean by like not even coming in, not doing like, not by time looping? I guess that's the right thing to do.
It's too late. There's nothing you can do. I have to do this. I'm sorry.
I can cover her in gold again, or I can wind back time. Well, I wonder if I wind back time, I may lose the bow, and I don't want that. Why did I cover her in gold again? She'll take that.
How?
With the golden
Really?
bow. What do you think I've been doing this whole time?
I'm not sure I believe you. But if you can undo this mess, I'll give you the key to my old medical chest in the Shrine of Apollo.
Oh, I have
I
something else.
imagine it would
They have
help
another
Lucretia
key for the Shrine
ease
of
the
Apollo.
suffering of those still in the city. But if you're lying to me, I'll break the golden rule and kill you and everyone else in this city. Understood?
Oh, I have the option. I would now have the option to do it to her. Oh, that would be so mean. Yeah, we're not going to do that, although it's tempting. I get it.
Make her go, or I'll make her. You did it. You took away her pain. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Thank you.
I should have saved the game
I will
and did it to
never
her.
harm
That's
her
what I should have
again.
done.
I swear it. I'll stay here to keep her company.
I guess there's enough time looping in this game without
These
me
poor souls.
creating
What can be done for them?
save points.
I've tried everything I can. I fear the only one capable of releasing them properly is whichever god doomed them in the first place.
In any case, I must honor our bargain. Here's the key I promised you. It opens a chest in the Shrine of Apollo. I believe there are a few things in there which may be useful to Lucretia.
Yoink.
Now, please leave. The door here leads out onto the palace balcony. You should be able to make your way down from there. Go, and never return.
Okay, bye. You're crazy. Can I shoot her? Where'd my bow go? I don't have bow options anymore. I guess I'm not in the bow portion of the game. She won't talk? Okay. Reach the front of the palace. Okay. Oh, now this is where I zipline, I guess? So ridiculous. Okay. Where am I now? Medical tools? Collection of barbaric looking medical implements. Well, it's ancient. Mortar and pestle. Statue of Apollo. Oh, okay. Whoa. Hello. Alright, well, the Apollo Shrine. This is... actually, this may not be Apollo Shrine. This may just be like a doctor's office. Apollo Shrine might be a little bigger and not have people sleeping in it. Alright, what's your deal?
What are you doing in here? Can't you see this woman is dying? She's been poisoned. She needs the resin of a plant called Silphium.
Poison.
But Culas Cubulates Decius won't give it to me.
Well, I know him. Don't really get along too well. He tried to kill me with hornets.
It's too late. She just slipped away. She was poisoned. She came in here frothing at the mouth. Normally, I'd treat her with resin of Silphium, a rare plant which is perfect for this sort of thing. And I knew Decius had some at his market stall, right around the corner. So I ran over there, but he just looks at me with this evil smile and says, "That'll be 1,000 denarii." There was no way I could afford that, and he knew it. Then that toad shrugs and says, "Supply and demand. I guess you don't value your friend's life that highly." Anywhere else, I'd just pay a thug to steal it from his stall. But there's no way I can do that down here with the golden rule. So all I could do is come back here and just watch her die. I kept on apologizing. And now I'll never know who poisoned her, or how they managed to do it without breaking the golden rule.
Yeah, that's a strong
or why
point.
She cursed that snake's
If you're so sure this
black
person
eyes
is
with her dying
murdered,
breath.
then maybe you're wrong. Maybe she wasn't murdered, because that would presumably break the golden rule.
Well, unless you have the power to bring someone back from the dead,
Well,
there's really just one thing you can do.
From a certain point of
Get me
view.
that Silphium resin. I'm going to have another patient in here soon. Could be in the next day or in the next hour. And I will not allow this to happen again. I don't care how you get it, but you have to make it happen. Because if I lose another patient this way, I swear to the gods below, not even the golden rule will stop me
Everyone
from
keeps
marching
threatening
up to
this.
that genetic tutor and scratching his eyes out. Then you'd better get me that Silphium quickly, hadn't you?
I don't get to find out what your name is. Alright. Let's do that, because we're sort of sticking with the plot line of this guy Decius. Ooh, here's a nice little fun secret passage. Oh, okay. Well, I've been here. Oh, there's night and day. Okay. But yeah, this guy's over here, right? Starting to learn my way around. Maybe not, because I thought he was in here. What are people going to think if I take out a flashlight? Things to buy once I've escaped. Villa on the Aventine Rome. 2-horse chariot. Seat on the Senate. Well, 4-horse chariot. Via on the Bay of Naples. 10-horse chariot. 12 slave girls, pale and plump. Fellow can have a good time in Vegas and all that stuff. Okay. Could have sworn that guy was in there. Ooh, oh, okay. Oh, this is the bakery. So this person knows about why people were harassing
You
Virgil.
took care of him?
I don't even remember what we're talking about. Oh, the assassin. Yeah.
An accident? So, it's over? Oh God, it's such a relief. I really thought we were all going to die. I do have a question though. That shrine, the one I was going to hide in, did you know it was going to collapse?
Yeah, I think the safest one here is the middle because I don't know. Again, I don't know if I'm allowed to kill people, even if they would, even if it, in a utilitarian sense, even if like they're gonna kill a bunch of people, I still don't know if I'm allowed to kill them. So I should do the middle one. Maybe I should even lie. But let's try the middle one.
I don't understand. Oh, I see.
Because there does seem to be an aspect with this.
Sorry.
There do seem to be loopholes.
Nobody else will ever know what you
There
did.
do seem to be situations in like, oh well, if you don't admit it,
Thank you.
or no one sees
Glad
you.
you're here. Oh, speaking of which, welcome.
I don't know.
I'm
The rules are
Sorry, I was
deliberately,
a
I
bit
think, a little
frantic
confusing,
before.
so you don't
Need anything?
ever know what to choose. Yeah, let's start with Virgil.
Terrible shame, that is. Maybe this'll help. Late last night, I was cleaning my oven when I heard some noises outside. The forum's usually dead quiet at that hour, so I came out to see what was going on. To be honest, I thought maybe poor old Dooley had got out of his cell and was snooping around again. So I put my head out and saw someone in front of Virgil's shop. I couldn't tell who. It was too dark. I called out to them, but they just turned and ran off without a word. All I remember is they ran past a lit torch, and the light glinted off something metallic. Armour, I think. So I suppose it could only be one of three people. Horatius, Domitius, or Rufius.
Only 3
Hope that
people wear
helps.
armor?
Oh, there's not much to tell. I mostly just bake bread and try to help out where I can. I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome with my family when I got sick. Terrible timing. My pa had just arranged a husband for me, a fisherman's son. I was about to meet him for the first time when I came down with an awful fever. I spent the next week in bed. Pa paid priests to make offerings to Asclepius. A white
So the first guy
rooster,
was
then a
just like, I
goat.
was having a party, I was having a great time, and then suddenly
In the end, they decided I'd do better outside.
something
the
weird
city.
happened.
Clean air in the countryside would do me good.
This woman's story seems to be
After
different. It
about
was
a
like I
day
got
in
sick.
a carriage on the Appian Way, I was getting worse, not better. I remember closing my eyes for a bit, and I guess I must have fell asleep because when I opened them
I
again,
mean, her story is
was in a
more
forest
consistent
by a
with I
river.
died
Suppose the
than
driver took off with his
the
fee
Greek
and
guy's
left me for
story
dead.
is.
Can't say I blame him. I wouldn't have wanted to catch what I had either. Anyway, I went searching for help, stumbled across the trapdoor temple, and here I am. It's nice of you to say, but you should save your sympathy. Lots of people here need it more than I do. What? You've been here a few moments and you're desperate to get out already?
Yeah,
Why not give the place
that's
a
a fair
chance
point.
before
I
you
mean,
try to
except for the
leave?
fact that
Good people here. Galerius
keep
works hard
turning
on
into
the
gold
farm
and it's
so I
weird.
can put food on our tables, and Lucretia tries to keep us healthy. My friend Georgius is always mending our clothes, and Virgil makes sure these old walls don't
Oh.
fall down around us.
I don't think we knew his
Well,
job
he-
was, but
He does his best. I'm just saying, there are worse
What exactly is
places
his
you could live
job?
out your days.
He's an architect?
Well, I can tell from your funny accent you're not from around here, but that doesn't mean you don't belong, does it? Oh, I try not to worry about it. I mean, if people are nice to each other, we won't have anything to worry about, will we?
I can't tell if that's a good attitude or a terrible attitude. I mean, a useful attitude or extremely not useful attitude. Have you met people?
You're funny. I bet my friend Georgius will like you. And those interesting clothes of yours. And I'm sure he'd love to chatter about the Golden Rule with you too. He'll be just across the forum. in his
Yes, he was telling me about Greek mythology and being wrong.
shop. There's not much to tell.
I mean that.
I suppose it all started about 8 months ago. I was living in Rome. All right. Thanks again for taking care of our problem. I won't forget it.
Okay, so she just gave me 3 other people to check out, so that's not... Yep. That's gonna take a while. So what are these? Livia, I don't know who that is. Don't know who this is. Okay. Oh. Who are you? You look official.
A new face. Arve, and may Vesta watch over you. I'm Equitia. To what do I owe the pleasure of this
I
visit?
feel like I've heard this name, but I have no idea who you are.
Oh my. I take it people are quite direct where you're from. I suppose it's quite charming in its own way. Usually, however, you wouldn't simply march up to a Vestal priestess and without due formality
No, okay,
or
so
courtesy ask,
you're an
what is your
oracle
story?
or whatever.
The proper approach would be to arrange an introduction through a mutual acquaintance in high office, by which time you would already know how to address me. And then you would find a way to satisfy your curiosity rather more indirectly. But to be honest, I've often thought what an unnecessarily formal way to communicate that is. So, let's do it your way. You just keep being yourself and ask whatever you like. It'll be a refreshing change. You really don't know? You are from far away, aren't you? Well, I am one of the priestesses, charged with keeping the sacred flame in Rome's shrine of Vesta burning.
Yeah.
I take it you know who Vesta is.
Actually, do I? Is it the heart? Is it the heart? I know there were one of 16 Vestal virgins.
Is the mother goddess
Yeah.
of hearth and home,
Who were leaving for the
and
coast.
guardian of the Roman people.
Oh, so you're not an oracle? I got confused.
Put simply, I tend to the temples, ensure their sanctity is preserved. Why? So that we continue to honor our gods, invite their blessings, and not bring their wrath down.
Sounds like your
on
job
us.
is boring.
It's vital that we keep them appeased. And
I thought you were
remain in
more
their good
interesting.
graces. You know, I'm not entirely sure. But what about you? How did you end up here? Karen, you say? And nothing about that name seems...
Oh, the game is drawing my attention to it. It carries negative connotations around for. When I said that to Karen, is it about Karen memes? She was like, yeah, okay, yeah, it's that.
Why is that?
Because of the memes. Because of the lulz.
The memes? What are the memes?
Oh, they're a scary collection of evil gods.
So, a bit like Egyptian hieroglyphs then?
Sure. It's like Shaka when the walls
So
fell.
your people make hieroglyphics depicting this accursed character, the one they call Karen. I wonder if... No. I apologize. I don't mean to be cryptic. It's just that you've got me thinking. Have you spoken with any of the others?
I feel like I'm making this game go in an order that it wasn't expecting me to go in.
Around and ask them what they remember, and see if you notice any patterns. I know. I just don't want to see what happened to Livia happen to you too. Up until a few weeks ago, she was a perfectly productive member of our little community, darning clothes and cutting hair. She was always so chatty, always seeking out newcomers and asking them where they were from and how they wound up here. And then, about a month ago, she suddenly changed. She withdrew, stopped working and became despondent, started muttering to herself. Galerius and I visited her to see how we could help, but she just looked at us with this haunted stare, called us bloodless shadows, and told us we were ignorant of some pattern. Look, it could be unrelated. Perhaps she simply fell ill. Or, as Galerius suggested, the weight of the Golden Rule was too much for her. But there is a small chance that she learned something, saw a pattern nobody else saw.
Have there been patterns other than...
I just don't want to see that happen to you.
This is what I was sort of ruminating about before. Have there been patterns other than I was doing something and then I don't remember what happened and I was in... I mean, the river is a pattern for sure. I believe everyone said they ended up in the river. Is there a pattern to what happened before that?
You have. Then what is it?
Okay, yeah, some people mentioned encounter with a stranger on the riverbank.
Yes, I also had such an encounter. What else?
Okay, so I guess I need to
There are definitely some common threads there.
have more conversations, which is fine because every single person I meet, I ask them how do you get here, so I'm sure this will
Asking people how they wound up here.
manifest
I don't
itself.
want us to rush to any conclusions yet. Livia's fate weighs heavily on my mind, and dictates we should be sure. Yes, you should ask the others first. And did you notice anything? A pattern?
This is okay, we just did that.
I don't, I'm afraid. It seems to me we're exiled here until the gods judge us, one way or another.
I'm gonna get you.
It's the work of the gods, which is strange because they've never been particularly concerned with our misdeeds, as long as we've kept the peace of the gods. We asked for blessings, for good health, bountiful harvest, military victory, and in return, we offer praise, wine, incense, or animals. But here,
It's a good deal.
it seems they require much more of us. I find myself reminded of an especially pertinent tale from our great poet Ovid in his epic Metamorphoses. Would you like to hear it? It is rather long.
Sure.
It goes like this. Baucis and Philemon were an old married couple living a humble life in a small town. One night, the town gets a visit from a couple of vagrants. They go from door to door, asking for a place to stay the night. Of course, being vagrants, they're turned away sharply from house after house, 1,000 in all. until finally they come to the little cottage where Baucis and Philemon lived. Now the kind old couple had very little to offer, but nevertheless, they invite these strangers at home. They begin gulping down the old couple's wine, so much so that Baucis, the old lady, begins to worry they're going to run out. And then she notices something strange. Her wine pitcher keeps refilling itself, as if by magic, realizing only a select few possess such powers. Says to her husband, Philemon, "I think these men are gods in disguise." Immediately the couple begins apologizing for offering such coarse wine, and the vagrants metamorphosize and reveal themselves to be Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Mercury, the trickster god. They confide they didn't mind the meager offerings. They were just pleased that someone in the town offered them hospitality. Then Jupiter says to them, "You have passed our test, but everyone else in this city failed, so we are going to destroy this place and everyone in it, except you, who we will grant a wish." So old Baucis and Philemon escape up into the mountains safely, and they receive their wish, which is for eternity together. Meanwhile, Jupiter carries through with his threat and wipes that city off the map. Some say the moral of that story is that we must all honor the sacred rituals of guest friendship, the reciprocal obligations owed between hosts and guests. But I like to think it's that we should always show compassion for those less fortunate than ourselves.
Shouldn't they have wished for don't kill everyone in the city? I mean, you know, I obviously understand why they would wish for eternal life for themselves, but it seems a little selfish. I'm going to challenge her a little bit. I'm going to pick the second option.
A cynic philosopher might take that view, but it's not entirely invalid, I suppose. Come back to me once you've acquainted yourself with the rest of our neighbors.
Okay. I thought I saw like a journal, like a people you've spoken to journal, but okay.
It is time.
Time for what?
Let us meet to elect our magistrate.
Who said that? Wait, no, it's not. No. Alright, we're doing this now. It's the middle of the night? Stop the steal. Why are we having an election now? I need to get the other guy elected. I've done absolutely zero to accomplish that. I guess maybe I can at least see how much he loses by. Yeah, if I can see who votes against him, then I'll know who to bribe or whatever. So yeah, this will be useful even if he loses, which I'm sure he will. Oh, this dude's showing up to vote. Okay, that's convenient. I see you coming. Hey, well, talk to me. Oh, so is this like a time where you can just sort of talk to everybody? Well, maybe afterwards. Hey, check out my flashlight. What do you think of this? What do you think of it? Are you amazed? Look at it. It runs on batteries. They don't care.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and Marcus.
No, my guy isn't even a candidate. It's going to be hard for him to win.
We shall dispense with ballots, and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Should I be writing this down?
Malleolus.
Galerius.
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
Malleolus.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
And finally, Domitius.
Malleolus. Who else?
Citizens, you have made your decision.
So like only one or
Your
two
new
people voted for
magistrate is
Sentius,
Marcus
who I believe is the
Malleolus
incumbent.
Gurges.
Hail, Magistrate Malleolus. I said, hail, Magistrate Malleolus. That's more like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe, because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. For my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. The myth of the Golden Rule is no more.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found guilty of
No.
treason.
Okay,
against
this is
the
the first thing
Empire.
he's gonna do is put his predecessor in.
I have committed
Kill
no
his predecessor.
crimes. This is madness.
His sentence: to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius. Here and now for your entertainment.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Wait, I exercise my right as a Vestal priestess to pardon him. I will not allow you to do
Oh.
You're showing your
Quick
true
thinking.
colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is, a children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
This is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
This
Shut up, all
it
of
is
you.
kind of a funny
The
thing.
magistrate has spoken. I'm going
That
to enjoy killing you.
It kind of makes sense that no one would believe.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Where am I supposed to be running? Give me a direction. Hey, that's the wrong way. Oh, I died. But yeah, it is funny to think that no one would. They would think it was a myth because they never saw it happen. Because if they had seen it happen, then oh shit, I have to watch all this again.
Citizens, it is time. Let us meet
Okay, I can
to
skip all the
elect our
dialogue, but I
magistrate.
have to walk over there with her again. Well, that's highly annoying. But yeah, naturally they wouldn't believe this is a real thing because they'd never seen it happen. Because if it had happened in their timeline, they'd all be dead. So naturally they don't believe it can happen. I was hoping I'd be able to talk to all the people in the game are gathered in one place. I was hoping I'd be able to talk to them, but the way this plays out, I cannot do that.
Salve, friend.
Who said that? Yes, I understand that. Okay, we need to speed this up. How do I start this? Go. Go.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's
Oh my god, can I not skip?
The candidates
No,
are
don't tell me this.
Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and Marcus Malleolus Gurges. As agreed, we shall dispense
I don't
with
think I can
ballots,
skip.
and
Okay.
candidates will abstain
Let me
from
figure out
voting.
how I lead. Okay, I think I need to go that way.
As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Okay, so this guy voted for Sentius.
Dacius.
Malleolus.
Galerius.
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
So this is the only guy.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
And finally,
Don't know who you are.
Domitius.
But you look like a soldier or something.
Citizens, you have made your decision.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone else voted for the other
Magistrate
guy.
is Marcus Malleolus Gurges.
Hail, Magistrate Malleolus. I said, hail, Magistrate Malleolus. That's more like it.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply
Why you got a
honored
fishbowl in
to
your
have
head?
been elected your magistrate. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will
I
finally
can't believe I can't
enjoy
skip
the
this. This really
freedom
sucks.
you deserve. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe, because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. For my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. The myth of the Golden Rule is no more.
The Golden Rule is real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found.
Does this scene keep going even if I just like run away? Probably.
I have committed no crimes. This is madness.
His sentence: to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius. Here and now for your entertainment.
Ooh, got some graffiti here. What's this say? Ulpius loves Scintilla, corrected to Ulpius killed Scintilla.
I will not allow you to do this.
Scintilla.
You're showing your true colors
Another
now,
name that I've
princess.
heard that
Your
I don't
corruption sickens me.
remember
Domitius, ignore her.
who it is.
Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
So what exactly does this guy do? He
It is
fights.
time the Golden
He
Rule
fights
is
this. He
exposed for what it is.
punches this
A
guy.
children's
The old guy.
fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
This is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man. Malleolus, you
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
That's interesting. He didn't even he didn't even do anything. He just said, "I'm gonna do it." That's the weird thing about this golden rule. It seems like saying the thing is as bad as doing it, and sometimes if you don't say it, then it's like you didn't do it. Okay. This is loop number 4.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and why you look like you've just taken on a gladiator and lost?
Oh, okay. I have a new option. I'm Dean, and I need you to take care of some things urgently.
Sounds serious. I'm listening.
I need you to stop Phoebe entering the empty shrine. Tell the new arrival to find. Oh, I see. They figured out a way that you don't literally have to do the same things every time you loop. You can tell this guy, hey, do all the things that I know I have to do. That's sensible.
All right, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood. I'll go. But once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
Do I have a bow? This is the golden bow. It is? Okay. Alright, stop. Stop. Just don't have... No. No. None of this. Just don't have any... Motherfuckers? Have the stupid flashlight out, see if I care.
The 49 Beladies fetch again with incessant labor.
Will this woman talk to me now?
They have lost. Cerberus lifts his triple head and lets out his threefold.
She looks busy. She's just staring at me vacantly.
Stop muttering like Medea over a cauldron. You'll scare away my customers.
They follow their trades.
So yeah, this guy, he's... That... Can I talk to him? Oh, that's the assassin guy.
I went and
That's
did as you
hilarious.
asked, and it worked. How is it possible? You've just arrived here and you already know everyone and exactly what's about to happen to them.
Something weird is happening in the background as he's been... Do I tell him I'm reliving the same day over and over again? You know what? I think I should, because I need... Although... At other times I haven't been straightforward. I need this guy to run for office. I need him to, like... I need him to be in on this because I need him to do something that he wouldn't ordinarily do. So I think I need to convince him of what's actually going on here.
You're toying with me, right? Wait, you're not kidding, are you? That's the only way you could have known. You're a bit like... Oh, what was his name? Sisyphus. Yeah, that's the one. Old King Sisyphus.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Sisyphus was a Greek king a long time ago. For daring to think he could outsmart the gods, he was given a terrible punishment. He was forced to push a great boulder up to the top of a hill. Only, just as it reached the top, it would roll all
Everyone
the way
knows
back
this.
down to the bottom.
People who
Forcing him
don't
to start
know mythology know this.
Over and over again, for all eternity. Just like you. Actually, now that I think about it, there are a bunch of old stories about the gods punishing people by making them do the same futile task over and over. Tantalus was made to grasp at fruit on a tree he could never quite reach. The Belades had to keep fetching water in a sieve. Oh, and Ixion was strapped to a wheel going round and round forever. But on the bright side, at least you're not stuck in the underworld like they all were. Anyway, I don't know which god you managed to upset to get yourself into this position, friend, but you seem all right to me. So, I'll tell you what. I'll keep doing whatever I can to help you.
Okay, so he immediately accepted this. This made perfect sense to him. Great.
Oh, that's kind of you to say. Now, I'm going to keep your secret. Although, it's not as if I'll
And
remember
he
this next time we
understands
talk anyway,
time
right?
travel instinctively, like he's seen a bunch of movies, he's read
I know when I'm not
The Sound of Thunder.
May fortune smile on you, friend.
Hello there, friend. May I say, that is a glorious bow you're carrying. Do you mind if I ask
It
where
is
you're
funny. It's always a good bit to like have conversations with people who You know something they don't know. Look at this first option. They know how ridiculous this is.
Are you well, stranger? Have you been out in the sun too long? You seem a little confused. Perhaps you should go and see Lucretia in a clinic.
Have I asked him things like what you're
How did I
doing?
end up here? That is a lengthy tale. All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha,
Don't
push
be
it for me.
creepy.
All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done. Of course I chose the cart. I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber. Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank, not far from here, with nothing in the world but
Has everyone
silver
literally
coin.
said that they fell into the river? That they fell into the river in the first place? I guess so. Okay.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, sure, I'd lost a few thousand denarii, but I've already made it back, and this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here. I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
Womp womp.
Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Dacius has got your back though. It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course,
Why? It's not liquid, literally.
Real wealth,
You
but
can't
what
sell
I need
it.
is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk. Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
Wait, if I agree to this, what am I agreeing to? I have a bow. Alright, I don't know what I just agreed to.
Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us?
Oh, is that who Centilla is? I think it is. Somebody mentioned Centilla, or I saw graffiti about her. Yeah, I think that's
Certainly.
the current magistrate's the one who's about to be voted out. I think that's his daughter, and she's missing.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii. That's hardly my concern. But if you get a job, work hard, and save your coins, you should
think
be
I
able to
might have
afford
like
it within,
500.
say,
I think I have a
5
pretty good
years.
amount at this point.
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it. Hear what? You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands. She claimed the statues were whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this Silphium or not? Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want?
Well, my evidence, and it could be wrong, but my evidence is that the statues are always right. So if the statue is telling me I'm allowed to do this, as far as I know, I'm allowed to do it.
Do you think I don't know a bluff when I see one? Nice try. Well, if you did that, you'd break the gold. Don't you dare.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Okay, so that puts an end to that theory. They're not always right. I like that I remember enough about this game to know that I'm interested in it, but I don't remember enough to actually like remember what happens when you do things. I'm in a good position. So, okay. So you cannot steal things even if it will save someone's life. Which sort of suggests to me by analogy that you can't kill someone even if it's in self-defense. I don't know for sure, but that seems like comparable.
On your back? All right then, I'll get out of your way.
The 49 melodies fetch again with incessant labor. The water they have lost.
Priestess, yeah, right. I have to tell her. I don't know where she is exactly.
Help! You have to do something.
Oh, because I didn't tell.
A man arrived in the bath. You have to. Thank you. What?
Because I didn't tell, what's his name? Galerius to do this, I have to do it. Alright.
Thank you.
Done and done. So yeah. I will find the priestess. I mean, it doesn't seem that urgent, but I wonder if, and I don't know how I would tell exactly, but I wonder if there are more statues every time you fuck up. There are more statues. I guess not. I guess it wouldn't make sense actually, because you're time looping. It never happened in the first place.
So it wouldn't be an issue.
Alright, well, like I was saying, it doesn't sound super urgent, but I do have an additional thing to tell. Oh, I've never been in here, where this guy came from. I'm loading. But yeah, I do have an additional thing to tell the priestess about that I noticed something else about. Oh, is this where I started off? This is where I started off in the first place, right? This is the very beginning. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or I have to come back here at the end. But yeah, it doesn't seem super important, but I found one more pattern in people's stories that I'm supposed to tell this priestess about, so let me... Now, where is she exactly? So yeah, I can like really fill up my inventory because you keep things from previous loops. But where was this I feel like she was on this staircase. I mean, this looks like it might be a temple. Door's locked. Can I talk to this guy? Oh, this is the gladiator. Okay, yeah, let me talk to him. Let me talk to him.
Malleolus isn't receiving visitors at the moment, it being election day.
Oh, are you his bodyguard or whatever?
Malleolus, of course. If old
That's the
man
exact
Sentius
same
can't
thing
even
these other
protect
guys
his own
said.
daughter,
And it's a
how
bad
can we
argument,
trust
by
him
the
to
way.
protect us?
It's the same words, same exact words.
The name's Domitius. You want to get to Malleolus, you go through me. Why? Because I am a gladiator. That's why.
Lovely jubbly.
You want to see me fight? Keep running your mouth, fatuous cunners.
Ooh, that sounds... I don't know what that means, but it sounds real bad.
When Malleolus wins the election, yeah, this place will change. You won't even want to leave.
Either that or
You'll
we'll
see.
all die within the first 5 minutes.
I think it's gone on long enough, and Malleolus is going to put an end to it once he's elected. He's going to announce it in his victory speech. Just you wait and see. 'Cause if I tell you, and it gets out, it'll give old man Sentius a chance to interfere in our plans. And we can't have that. We've already lined up the votes he needs to win. Just stay out of our way, and we won't have a problem. Do I seem like anonymous threats are my style? You don't know Sturkus. Too bad. He's busy. Unless... No. You don't look like you could afford it. I'm glad you asked. See, he's a busy man, and this is an important day. He'll be inside practicing his victory speech for tonight. Left me strict instructions he doesn't want to be disturbed. So if you want to see him, I'll need something valuable.
I
in
have a
return.
bottle of wine. How about that? 110. Okay, let's ask what he wants before I give him money. Actually, let's ask if this will kill everyone if we do it.
Bribe? That's such an ugly word. What I'm looking for is more of a tribute to me, your soon-to-be patron. Dunno. Something good. Just make it good. Yeah? What have you got for me? Just make it good. Whatever. Just remember.
I have money. I can
I'll be
probably do
watching.
it if I need to, but right now I'm not sure why I would need to do it, so I'm not going to do it. What was I looking at? 522. That's how much I have. So I can certainly afford this if necessary. Who are you?
How's it feel knowing your man's
Oh, this is the one guy who voted for the incumbent loser.
Me into an argument. It won't
He doesn't
work.
want to talk. He's
Remember?
this is because he's arguing with this guy or what? That's what everyone keeps saying. It's stupid.
Why do I get the feeling you lot had something to do with Sentilla's disappearance?
That's it. Blame everyone but yourself.
If I find out you did something to that poor sweet girl, not
Again,
even the
everyone
Golden
keeps
Rule is
threatening
gonna
us.
protect you. Got it?
I'm going to kill you even though it's going to kill everybody, including myself. Oh, here we go.
Greetings, citizen. My name's Horatius. Magistrate Sentius asked me to escort you to him personally. Follow me, please. I expect the magistrate wants to brief you about the Golden Rule. It shouldn't take too long. He's busy preparing for the election later today.
Alright, so let's do this and then we'll call it. This will be a good ending to our session, doing the thing that we should have done in the first place that has made... that my failure to do has made things a little confusing.
The only thing you really need to understand right now is the Golden Rule. Let me see if I can explain it this
He
way.
will no doubt explain what I've already explained, what the game is
When I was serving in the Legion, if there was
trying
a
to
mutiny
explain
brewing in
through
one
context.
cohort, the legate in charge wouldn't waste time finding the bad apples among hundreds. They just divided us into groups of 10, made us draw straws. And whoever drew
Sure,
the short straw
decimation.
had to be executed by the other 9. Didn't matter whether he'd done anything wrong.
Hey.
One of us in 10 would die for the crimes of the collective. We call it decimation. If that seems like rough justice to you, you're in for a rude shock. Because the Golden Rule is exactly 10 times worse. The magistrate can explain the rest. He's up these stairs.
Whatever are you wearing?
Oh, you seem fun.
Ugh, I wish Horatius would stop letting barbarians in here. What do you want? I'm Sentia, eldest daughter of the magistrate. But you'd know that if you'd been invited in here and introduced properly. What are you doing in here? And why are you dressed like that? Really? I'd never have noticed, what with your flawless accent, appropriate attire, and impressive mastery of our
She's
customs.
tearing me apart
Now,
right now.
remind me, why are we having this conversation? Ugh, what is it with you people? You heard the rumor that my little sister escaped and figure I must know a way out too. Is that it? Well, that's just a stupid rumor. We have no idea what happened to Sentilla. I wish you mouth breathers would just leave me alone. I don't know. Can you? Can you tell me how a person could have disappeared from a city with no exits and no crime? Was she snatched away by the harpies?
It's a good theory. This is such a stupid question that I'm going to ask it.
You really aren't from here, are you? All Roman women are named after their fathers. I think it's their way of branding us, like cattle to be sold at market. His family name is Sentius, so I'm Sentia because I'm the eldest. And my little sister is formerly Sentia Minor.
This does seem
She's
very
affectionately
boring.
known as Sentilla. Why? Because I'm on this couch and not pacing about the villa, wasting energy? I hope you're not insinuating I'm somehow
You have to
pleased
name your
with her
kids the same thing
disappearance.
your name.
Ugh, you're awful. Get out of my villa and never speak to me again.
What?
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out of here?
I'm
Get
good
out,
at
you horrid
saying
barbarian.
things to people that don't seem that bad that make them say, I literally never want to speak to you again. I mean, I guess that was kind of bad. That was way worse than what I said to the other person. Saying you kidnapped or murdered your own sister. Okay, I get it. I get it. It's a stove. The carrots are purple. That's fun. I think I probably made a big mistake by talking to her like that. Today, my father suggested I write a diary as a way of keeping myself occupied while we all deal with the sudden and devastating disappearance of my sister. This seems highly sarcastic. As a dutiful daughter, of course, I shall oblige. The following pages contain my innermost secrets. I know you're reading this, Father. I may be young, but do not think me stupid. We are all entitled to our secrets. Okay. Yeah, I bet she had nothing to do with it because they're trying to make it sound like she did. That's Mystery 101. They really got this woman angry at me.
Do I need to ask Horatius to escort you out?
Alright, we heard that. Alright, let me finally go up and talk to this guy. So if I choose the steal option at any point, does it just start a loop? Does everyone just die? We start over?
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
My controller's kind of acting up. Hold on a sec. I think the game may have frozen. That's really a shame because this was the last thing I was going to do. At least it ran better. I was getting some stuttering, but it wasn't nearly as bad. And my computer didn't crash until this happened. Alright. Oh my god, this is taking up like 3 gig of my memory. Why? Alright. And then I closed it. Jesus, now this thing doesn't even want to close. Well, I mean, if I have to restart my computer, then I'm just going to stop for the night. I'm hoping that I can stop the program without restarting the computer, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. No, this is anticlimactic. Yeah. Okay, this this program has done things I have not seen computers do in a long time. First it blue screened of death my computer, and now it not only crashed, but it refuses to close even when you do end task. Amazing. Okay. So we will stop there. But I think I will stick with this game. It's got a little more momentum than the other games I've tried out lately. And even though it has a lot to do, I feel like it's not going to be too many sessions. Let me look it up on howlongtobeat.com, actually.
Hello, Dean. You're a stupid head.
I mean, I agree. Oh, you have to log on to How Long to Beat? Seriously? Fucking hell. Okay, so yeah, wow. This is completionist 10.5 hours. And we've gone, what, like I had to restart. We've got like 4.5 hours. So we may already be like halfway through this game. So, probably because I go even slower than completionist. Pace. I bet in 2 more sessions we can get this done. So let's try to do that over the next couple of weeks. And I hope that you'll join me when we do. I dig this game. It's got, even though it's not exactly the world's most sophisticated gameplay in the world, you basically just go around and talk to people, and occasionally you run somewhere. Really glad I didn't take that thing. There's like, oh, you run faster as my perk, because it doesn't seem to matter at all. I'd be really curious to take the gun. I wish I had taken that now. That's my background, the soldier. Anyway. So yeah, it's not like it's super sophisticated in the game mechanics, but it's just, the mysteries are interesting. It's got mystery. It's got horror aspects. It's got puzzle solving. It's, I feel like it's a nice little tight thing that they've constructed here. So, hopefully you agree. Hopefully you're enjoying it and you'll stick with it. And remember, there's a big twist at the end that I'm not allowed to talk about, which is fine because I don't even remember it too well. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And have a good night. And I'll see you soon.